Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In a previous episode, I talked about three of the dreams I had in the month of May. I also do like to mention that I did actually have another dream concerning Brandon in the month of May, but I will talk about that later on. So, in this episode, I'm just going to talk about the things that happened to me in the month of May. And yeah, so here it goes. So, it's May 1st, and I'm thinking, okay, the month of May, it's the fifth month. Five symbolizes God's favor, God's grace. I need to be favored this month. I need to be favored this month. I need to get a job. I need to get out of my poverty situation. It just needs to change. So the first week of May, there was a lot of graduations going on. Esther was getting her PhD, and my older brother was graduating from law school. So I was occupied the entire first to second week of May. May 7th was Esther's graduation. I attended. And then right after that, we went and had some like a celebration lunch. And then I went straight to the airport to head off to visit my brother and then attend his graduation days after that. So I was very fortunate to be around my family during this time. So yeah, it was really a really celebratory moment. I did wish that my father was there to see my brother, get his degree. But yeah, so that was what happened in the first and second week of May, and then I flew back to Atlanta by I want to say the 12th. I was back in Atlanta. May 13. That marked 2 years since I graduated grad school and I was still unemployed. Yeah, I was just like, okay, God, please change my situation, right? The next day, which was May 14, I come across an article from like Google or whatever about certain states ending the PUA program. And I was like, wow, that's weird. Okay. Now at this time, the PUA program and some other like unemployment programs, they were supposed to end in September. But yeah, there were certain states, I think at that time it was seven, that they wanted to end their program as early as June. Fast forward to May 20. There were other states that decided to end their PUA program as of June 30th, and one of those states was Georgia. Y'all, when I saw that article, I panicked. I was like, what? No, this is what I've been using to take care of myself. The program cannot end. Well, should it? I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then I said to myself, hey, Adriel, just think positively. This could be God's way of letting you know that the season of manna is up. So I looked at the whole PUA program as God providing manna for me up until, it's time for me to get to the promised land. So I'm like, hey, maybe the reason why Georgia is one of those states that's ending the PUA program early is because this is God's way of letting you know that the manna is up and it's time for me to go and start working and get out the wilderness. And the reason why I was thinking that way was because I honestly believe when God no longer wants you in a season and that season is up, the grace for that season is going to be lifted. So I felt like I had so much grace when it came to getting the PUA, and God's like, okay, yeah, now this season is up. Because the season's up, the grace is lifted up to now you need to move over to this new season. And I honestly was believing that. Now, does God work that way? Yes. But in this moment, y'all, I honestly was believing that I am getting out of the wilderness and going straight into the promised land. So I was very hopeful, very optimistic, very positive at this time. So yeah. Also, Esther's roommate, she graduated from her program as well. So they had a celebration at their house, and I attended during this week of May 20th. So there's a lot of graduation stuff going on. And I too was looking at that like, okay, people are graduating. I'm graduating from the season that I'm in too as well. So that was pretty much what happened in the month of May. I was still looking for a job, couldn't get a job at London. Um, Now, something too I did notice with the apartment. Now, if we remember in previous episodes, I said that Brandon was going to be my neighbor. So at this time, I'm thinking, okay, it's only a matter of time that Brandon's going to be with Caitlin. Eventually, he's going to find his way to Atlanta. Now, that was something I really was questioning God. Like, how is Brandon going to get to Atlanta as a single man? Because on social media he claimed that Lily was his daughter and that he was going to marry Caitlyn. How is he going to come back to Atlanta moving next door to me as a single man? um but anyways, I was looking at prices of the floor plans for my apartment complex, and I noticed that the price just kept on increasing. Like when I first moved in, my unit was 1210. That was the base, and then later on I found out the whole other fees and stuff like that. By the time it was May 2021, my unit was, it was like 15 something, like 1500s in around that, that price range. And I'm like, wow, why is it increasing? And then I found out it was actually all over Atlanta that rent was just increasing. So I'm kind of nervous, like, I don't know if this could be appeasing towards Brandon, because if Brandon comes back, he may just want to go back home. Um, so that was interesting. Another thing I thought about was, I'm thinking, okay, God, you brought me to Hidden Valley just for Brandon to leave Atlanta. Why? At this point, I didn't understand why I was in Hidden Valley either, too, y'all. I had so many questions. So yeah, but that gets answered later on in the story. As far as my neighbors are concerned, apartment 14, they're still acting like a maniac. Um, it's really at this point I'm contemplating, should I even report them? But I was low key scared to report them because Lisa was acting like an animal. So if she finds out that I reported them to the leasing office, she may try to act like an animal in front of my door. So at this point I didn't know what to do. I just knew that this was not it. I don't know if I could renew my lease in September 2021. Um, the fights got so aggressive. It was so terrible. It even got to a point where I remember confiding in Esther one day about it. I'm like, man, my neighbors are crazy. They are a crazy couple that hate each other and they fight all the time. I don't know what to do. She told me she kind of went through the same thing too, and that the Holy Spirit told her to pray, and then the noise stopped. So she advised me to pray. Y'all, I prayed. The noise did not go away. It did not. It didn't go away, but thank God it didn't, y'all. Because later on, I'll say this, later on by 2022, I realized what was going on. And I had to witness whatever Lisa and Sam were doing because it was very important to my journey. Another thing that happened in the month of May, I did get a visit from Esther, and we had this big discussion. Now, next episode, I'm going to talk about that discussion, and it kind of revealed certain things that happened in 2020 when I was staying with Ruth and Esther that I did not know about. So, yeah, if you're liking a likely story, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.